Cuff.
Cool.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live from Mindset Monday. And, what I want to talk about today is basically when you consistently work at one thing, okay, and you obsess over it, you put in the reps, that type of effort compounds. All right. The reason why most people don't actually achieve what they want to achieve is because they're not willing to go through and look like they don't know what's going on, or they don't want to struggle through the point where they become an expert, where they become the best at what they do, right? And it's not just work, guys. It's anything and everything that you want to accomplish. It's your faith, it's your fitness, it's your finances, okay? It's your family life. Like, people usually stop when it gets hard, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I coached my son's team in an international tournament last week in Quebec. That's why I was not on Financial Fitness Friday. I wasn't on Mindset Monday. I spent literally 9 days in Quebec, and his team did all right. One of the teams we were with there actually won the tournament for their division, which was unbelievable. And we all did this tournament. We're playing the best players all over the world, and it was awesome. It was probably one of the best hockey experiences that I've ever had. And like looking back on it, like, my son didn't play in the top division, okay, but the fact that he got to this tournament after only playing again for 2 years, right, was pretty incredible. And the lessons he learned, right, he played probably 9 or 10 games over that span. So sometimes he was playing 3 a day. I think there was only 1 day or 2 days he was off, right? But it's those life lessons. Like, what have you been struggling to learn? What have you been struggling to pick up? That you just don't, because you don't want to look silly, or you don't want to not be good at something, right? And this whole weekend wrapped that up, and then being up there while the U.S. and Canada played for the gold medal game. Getting to watch that live, not live, but watch it in like the hockey capital of the world, in hostile territory. With all the kids that we're coaching, it was an awesome experience, right? But those kids don't get that experience if they stop playing. Those kids don't get that experience if it gets too hard, and then they say, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore," right? And it's so parallel to everything that we're trying to accomplish in our own personal lives, right? You're doing really, you do well at work for a little bit. You realize, oh, this is really hard, and you pull back. You try to learn. You try to start a business. Okay, this happens a lot with people starting a business. They have no idea what they're doing. And instead of sticking it through, they dump some money in, things get hard, and they tuck their tail, right? And then they lost all that money. And then they think, oh, business isn't for me. Well, business isn't for you if you did not put in the time, effort to get, and energy to get what you wanted out of it. Dave, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man. I mean, that was something I was going to bring up to you anyway. What that experience was like, being in Canada and watching the USA take gold. Awesome hockey game. I watched it here, man. Freaking phenomenal. But touching on those points, I mean, even those guys, man, they got written off. They weren't expected to beat Canada. I mean, look at the shots on goal. What were they like?
Yeah.
Almost 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, they showed up. But they knew, if you look at the interviews, right, these guys knew they were going to do it. They knew they were going to win. Mike Eruzione was even saying, hey, these guys are going to win. But at the end of the day, they didn't quit, right? Like you just said, if you get out of business, put a bunch of money in, oh, it's not for me. How do you know? Did you give it your all, right? Did you give it 100% effort? Shit's going to go bad, right? Like we're not going to sit here and say things are perfect for us, because they're not. You're always going to have adversity, man. And I think the biggest critical takeaway that a lot of people forget, and they don't correlate it either to business or something else that they're not comfortable in, is inputs equal outputs. It doesn't get any easier. I don't want to say easier. It doesn't get more simplistic on paper than that. You put in X, you're going to get Y. You put in more of X, you're going to get more of Y. Um, it's just that simple, man. Even for me, it's hard to wrap my head around it sometimes. But don't be afraid to fail. You're talking about the kids. I think when you can see something that you do. I saw somebody put a post this morning of something similar that I've gone through. And this is a high level person. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm on the right path, keep going. Right. So what about those kids? Like you're talking about your son who's only got a couple years in, man. Like what has the impact of seeing Team USA win done to those kids, right? We're like, hey man, this is possible. If these guys can do it, these guys are a bunch of scrappers. You got the Hughes brothers out there, he's freaking missing teeth. Like this is possible, man. Like look at this excitement. Look at these guys like cheering, throwing sticks in the air on the podium. I could see myself being in that. So now you're going to put in the effort. It kind of takes that fear of failure away because people don't like looking bad doing stuff. And I think that paralysis by analysis holds people back from jumping both feet in. Oh, I don't want to look dumb. Oh, it's not going to work. Well, it's newsflash, man. You're going to suck in the beginning. You're not going to be good. I can still throw heavy ass weight around, man. Since I've been doing this at 15, like I can barely bench the bar. So you got to put that's ego, man. You got to put that shit aside. Back to you, sir.
Yeah. I mean, listen, great experience. Sports is definitely a microcosm for life. Okay. Watching USA was incredible, but I had more fun with the tournament and what these kids were doing because they literally were playing against teams from all over the world, just like they were doing in the Olympics. And when you think about it, that happens once every 8 years with that tournament because that tournament's been going on. This was the 66th year.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
It was on TV. Like they literally, all of Quebec stops. Okay. Every hotel is hosting teams. They have the games on the TV at the hotel, right? The players are like little celebrities. Okay, they all get these pins and they trade them from all over, people all over the world. And doing that, you have to go through, and it's very similar in business. You have to go through a lot of crap to actually get good. And then when you think everything's going well, you're going to go through more and more and more crap. And it's always how much do you want it and how much are you willing to stick with it, right? Business, life, family, faith, all that stuff. All right. So what you really should be focusing on is developing your ability, your mental toughness, okay, to get through that stuff. You should develop the ability to lock in on certain goals and say, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm going to achieve this no matter what. Right. Like tomorrow I start 75 hard. Okay. That's going to help me lock in. It's going to give me the boost I need at work. It's going to give me the boost I need to be a better dad, a better husband, just better overall. Right. And you do those things so you sharpen those skills. All right. So guys, don't take that lightly. Figure out what you can do and what you can really stick with and what craft you can master. Right. And put everything into it. That's a big differentiator. Right. And people that do it at a very high level get paid. They make a big impact. They change a lot of lives. All right. That's always the goal. So hope this helped you guys. We will catch you on Financial Fitness Friday. Be great, guys.
Be great, y'all.